Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. And as you can see, we are doing another pick a card reading. So we have option 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can go ahead and pick Herkimer Diamond, a Moonstone, a Bloodstone, or Fluorite. And just kind of meditate on it and see which one you would like to pick, or go with your first gut instinct. That's what I like to do. Totally up to you. And grab some tea or coffee, whatever your thing is, and sit back and relax and enjoy the message. Okay, so I'm going to get started on set 1, the Herkimer Diamond, and if you guys chose one of these options, then you can go ahead and skip ahead, and I will have the timestamps down below. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Herkimer Diamond. So what do people think about you? How are you perceived? This is kind of the message that we're going to play with today. And I did shuffle off camera, just so you guys know, and grouped them by each stone. All right, let's get started. There's also an angel card over here that I'm going to pick for you guys. Okay, so the first card out, we have the Water Fairy. So we have feelings, emotions and feelings. And then I'm going to kind of spread these out here. So, and you can also put me on 2 times the speed or up the speed, whatever you want to do, because I kind of think, and during my readings I think, and I might talk really slow, so if you want to go ahead and speed me up, then feel free to do that. Okay, so then we have 3 Moonchild cards. So the first one is 9 of Swords, all right? And then we have the Lovers, and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, some beautiful cards here. Lots of emotions going on, lots and lots of feelings. We have, what's interesting is that we have a certain pain when it comes to our emotions and our emotional relationships so far. So there's something going on there. And I'm going to try to fit all of these cards in here, but as you can see, it's a little bit difficult. I need a new table. Okay, so, and then we have, all right, we have the Tower, and we have 8 of Swords. Okay, so I can kind of see what's going on here emotionally. And for the Moon, oh, we have the Moon for the Goddess deck. So that is 9 Chell. We have 2 more cards here. We have the Ace of Swords, Triumphant Success. Okay, good. We have some good news happening here. And then we have, what are you being called to journey to? Imrama. So this is your Oracle card. So go ahead and ask yourself that question if that feels right to you. What are you being called to journey to? And then your angel card is Surrender. So that's just kind of that message that the universe wants to give to you, or that you would like to give to yourself. Okay, so let's break this down here and dive into the reading. So I know that it's hard to see each card, but I'm going to pull them up as I talk about them. Okay, so emotionally, how others perceive you, or how someone perceives you, a person that you're thinking of right now, dealing with super duper hurt feelings, and there's a lot of emotional pain that either you are feeling or this other person is feeling, or other people may feel certain, they may feel that you're hurt. You may wear your heart on your sleeve. You may be this person that is not afraid to show how they feel and sometimes can't even help it. There's so much emotion here. There's water energy all over the place. So we have Pisces energy, we have Cancer energy, we have Scorpio energy. There's so much water. And you could have just dealt with a breakup or you're going through a breakup. And beyond that, I'm going to talk about what the swords are going on. What's happening with the swords here? Okay, what do we have? 9 of Swords and Ace of Swords. So we do have a little bit of, there's some fear or some anxiety or some stress circled around starting over. So starting over is really, really scary. And we have, what's interesting here is I have pulled from different decks, but now I'm seeing that there's obviously a lot of similarities. So the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, there's very big similarities here. And this is about your mental state and mental well-being. So as you can see, tied up, blindsided, there's some kind of energy where you feel possibly taken advantage of or mentally just drained because somebody pulled the blinds over your eyes and did something behind your back, and you may feel some anxiety with this, and it may cause some nightmares or some sleepless nights, and you may have had the Tower, so you may have had a unexpected incident occur, and that might make your emotions even more raw. I'm getting a lot of raw emotions here. So the Lovers is a big deal because I want to point out that this isn't necessarily a love reading. I'm not going to call it that, but I do feel with the group, you guys picking the Herkimer Diamond, it does feel like you are dealing with something in your love life that feels like something was pulled from you, or it feels like there's an emotional distance from a person and you're working through those feelings. And maybe not in a way that feels right to you or comfortable right now. So with the Moon and this heavy, heavy Pisces energy here, there's a lot of, what do I do next? What's my next step? Where am I going to go from here? And I love that you got Rama, because this is, what is your journey supposed to be? What are you being called to do? Because clearly it's not what you thought. So now you have to take a step back and really start to decide, what am I here for? Why am I put on this earth? And if it's not for unconditional love, then what is it? Because it feels like you are the person that gives and gives and gives and gives. You're the person that might overanalyze things and feel like, okay, do they like me or do they not? Or do they love me? Or whatever you may be battling with. It feels like a lot of overthinking and a lot of overanalyzing. So there's a lot of mental and emotional heaviness, I'm going to say. And the surrender card is really important because surrendering has to do with just saying, okay, fine, I cannot control everything. I do not control everything. So what am I supposed to do? What is my journey? Like, who am I supposed to be with? What am I supposed to do? And all these questions are very good questions, but also I want you to pay attention to how strong you are during this time, during your emotional breakdown or whatever you want to call it. I don't like to call it breakdown because it could be a breakthrough. And I'm going to just say that's what I like to call really emotional times, is you're having a breakthrough. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be this hard forever. So if you feel like, what does this person think about me, or what do people think of me? How do people perceive me? There's a lot of emotions and there's a lot of feeling like, what do I do next? What do I do now? I feel like I was blindsided, or I was maybe taken advantage of, but also just maybe like bamboozled. I mean, there's something in here where it's just like, I did not see that coming. I thought this person felt this way, or I thought this person thought this thing about me, but clearly they don't, based on the way they're acting. And you really need to pay attention to how these people are acting, because, I mean, are you supposed to be around these people, whether this is your job or if this is a relationship, intimate or otherwise? Like, are you supposed to be around this energy? Because this energy feels almost draining, all the way around, and it feels like it shouldn't be this hard. You know what I mean? So when you're feeling this way around people or around a certain person, and you feel high, intense, emotional, maybe fight or flight mode, or maybe it's sadness or pain or anxiety, whatever that feeling is that you keep having, like, why do you do that to yourself? Why? You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this to myself? Do I deserve this? Why am I allowing this pain to happen to me? Because you have options. You have a lot of options. And life isn't just about picking one thing and staying with one thing and having that be it. I mean, you're going to go throughout life and have it be, oh, Jagger's barking, and it's going to be a jungle gym. It's not going to be a ladder where everything just gradually gets better and better, and everything, ends up being perfect, and the picket white fence, and we have the dog and the baby and, the husband or wife or whatever that is. So it's like, it doesn't have to go structured in any sort of way that society tells you that it needs to go. And life is going to be up and down. Life is going to have waves. Life is going to be swinging from one thing to the next. And it looks like the drama that was happening with you, with your life, with everything that's been going on right now, there is a shift. And you have to work through that shift emotionally and mentally. And I recommend doing that on kind of a higher level than what you've been dealing with it so far, than how you've been dealing with it. So if that makes sense, put it as a priority. Put your emotions and your mental health as a priority. There's a saying I like to repeat. Hi, Jagger. He wants to be in this reading. There's a saying I like to, or a mantra, however you want to take it. And I take a deep breath in and I take a deep breath out, and I say, I release what no longer serves me. Sorry, I release what no longer serves me. And that could be anything. That could be with people. That could be with a job. That could be with any situation that makes you unhappy. Any kind of negative energy you need to dust off in your life. Just, I release what no longer serves me. And maybe that will help you push through some of those emotions. But only you can do that. You are in charge of this next level. What am I being called to journey to? Like, where am I supposed to go? Okay, Jagger, sit in my lap. It's okay. Okay, sit in my lap. All right, so there's a surrendering happening here, and that's the absolute best way I can put that is ask yourself, what person or situation is no longer serving you, and how can you release that and surrender and let go? Because your feelings and your emotions and your mental state and your mental health is the most important thing. So you will get through this. You will have triumphant success, okay? You will have this moment where you feel like, okay, finally, I worked through something. I feel much better now. I feel on top of the world. I feel like I have my emotions in check. I feel like this chaos is dying down and I can finally start to feel better. So there is a lot of hope, and there's a lot of emotional happiness that you get to have in your life, and you deserve. to have in your life. And that could be with a partner, or that could be with yourself, or your family or your friends. It doesn't matter. You deserve to have emotional happiness and health. So anyway, heavy emotions with this reading, and how people perceive you right now, or how a certain person perceives you right now, is definitely just trying to work through. It's you trying to work through your emotions, and they see that, and they might see that you're dealing with something, some sort of unexpected event that may cause you to have some anxiety, but they also see you as a very, very emotionally intelligent person. So with this beautiful water energy, we do have high emotional intelligence, and that's why it's affecting you so much, because you can read other people's emotions. You have a lot of emotions yourself, and you have to maybe try to learn how to help yourself and create a bubble of protection around yourself, and make sure that you're putting your needs first, just like, you know, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can put it on the child or whoever's next to you, as they say. Okay, awesome, wonderful, beautiful reading. You guys are emotionally intelligent and working through a very important time in your life, and you will get through it. Just take really deep breaths and release what no longer serves you, if you'd like. Okay. Moving on, we have the Moonstone. Okay, so for those of you that picked option 2, we have the Moonstone. Okay, awesome. Let's get it started here. And for you guys, just a reminder, I did shuffle everything off camera, and I set the decks to each stone. So this is specific to you guys. All right, let's see what energy is coming out for you guys. I'm going to kind of spread these out and show them as they come up. I know it's the best I can do right now, but I'm going to hold them up to the camera. Okay, so how people perceive you, what people think about you. All right, the first card we have out is the Bard. And this is music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. So there's a lot of kind of glee in this card specifically, number 7, the Bard. And I'm going to open the rest of the cards up and see what we have here. Okay, we have Page of Wands. Okay. And then we have the Death card. Okay, so we're going through a little bit of something drastic here. And then we have King of Wands. Beautiful energy there. And then, what do we got? Okay, we have 2 of Wands and the Hermit. So this is pretty indicative of telling me that you guys are possibly on the shyer side, but you come alive when you are around a stage or a big crowd or something like that. So let's see what else comes out. For the Goddess card, we have Delight, which is being open to coming from the darkness and seeing the light, and then shining that light upon others around you, and that is fire energy. And we have Conflict and Defeat. So you may have just gone through something that was possibly feeling like you just got defeated, or it was some kind of conflict you couldn't quite manage or get out of in the way that you wanted to. Let's talk about it in a minute. Okay, and then we have Share Your Voice. Oh yeah, I love this card. Come out of the cave, persecution and expression. So this is a really interesting set of cards here. We have a lot of self-expression here. So there's about coming alive and being open to new things, coming out of a, okay, you're coming out of a shell here. There's someone crawling out of their shell. And then, the angel card, enthusiasm. Okay, awesome. So the angel card is just kind of the universe telling you, okay, this is the word you need to think of for today or whenever you would like to think about it. And you might come off as a very enthusiastic person when you are on a platform to showcase your best self or your skills or your talent. So it looks like you are someone that has a gift, has a very, very, very obvious gift. And when it says share your voice, and when I get the bard with music, poetry, history, enchantment, storytelling, myth, there's a lot of creative energy. There's a lot of self-expression that needs to come out. You need to get this out. There's a lot of you searching within yourself and having this hermit energy. There's Virgo energy. There's wands all over the place. King of Wands, Two of Wands, Page of Wands, fire, fire, fire energy all over the place as well. So there's Sagittarius, Leo, there's, oh my goodness, there's Aries energy, there's Earth energy. There's a lot, a broad spectrum, but there's, as a general reading, this is the type of energy that feels like it's coming up within you, and a lot of passion, and there's something that you need to showcase, and there's something that you need to get out into the world. So whether that is actually using your voice, as in talking or doing something with writing or poetry or music or dance or whatever it is, and writing something down and then executing it, writing a book, whatever that may be, painting or drawing and expressing with art. There's a lot of art energy here, and I really want to focus on the Death card because you have to really pay attention to this card every time it comes out. And I am surprised to see it in this set, but what it means is that we're coming out of our cocoon, out of our shell. And that is a sort of death, coming from the caterpillar to the butterfly. There's no longer a caterpillar anymore. It is a butterfly. So clearly the caterpillar had a death. And this is death in your best sense. That's what I want to get across, is there has to be a death before a rebirth. And you are rebirthing, and you are coming out of this shell mentality, or this uncertainty of if you should share your creative expression, or if you should share this idea that you've had. It could also be a mental idea that you've just had circulating, and you thought to yourself, well, maybe nobody wants to see it, or whatever we think as humans. But there's a lot that you have to share. This delight energy, which is Three of Wands, which is more wands here. Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Page of Wands, King of Wands. I'm seeing that you have to step out of your comfort zone. That's what this is. This is stepping out of your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the Hermit energy, which is awesome. And I'm all for Hermit energy. This is, me in a nutshell. I love the Hermit energy, and I think it's very important to be in Hermit mode, to find your inner light when you need to have escapism, and you need to do it in a healthy way. And escapism doesn't always need to be a bad thing. Escapism can be beautiful. It can be finding your own inner light, your own inner peace, how to meditate, how to have self-care. So anyway, wow, you really have to get something out and have to express yourself. And it might not be the most comfortable thing in the moment, but you will defeat this inner battle of feeling like, I don't want to share it. It's not good enough. I don't know if I like it. So you guys are definitely creative, and you're definitely passionate about something. So the way people see you is Page of Wands here is a good example of it, is having something to share. You guys have a voice. You have something to say. You have something to show. There's a gift in that. You're giving to others by sharing your project or idea or whatever it is. There's so many words I can say that this thing is, but when we have also King of Wands, there's so much positivity coming out of this, and there's so much spiritual and creative expression and freedom and passion and overcoming this overwhelming self-doubt and making sure that you are stepping out of your bubble and having people appreciate that, because people will appreciate it. Whatever you're thinking in your head right now, people will appreciate it. Whatever it is. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Get out of that shell. That's what this is saying. And it's pushing you to move forward with enthusiasm. It's pushing you to move forward in coming out of darkness into the light, and telling yourself that that's okay to do. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to be weird or different or express yourself in some sort of different, whatever type of way. There's, if people see you as different or, taking the journey off the beaten path, I mean, what's wrong with that? I think that's awesome. I think that's one of the most important things in life, is not following society's standards and not following the leader of what everybody else is doing. That's so boring. And what everybody else is doing is not always awesome. What everybody else is like, if everybody else is doing one particular thing, like you see those streets with the same house on every single, like in a row. It's like copy paste. There's a house, and then there's another house, and it looks the exact same, and then they have the car, and then they have another car, and it's all like everyone lives in the same bubble. It's like, it's cool to get out of that bubble and see other types of weird, different, cool things out there in the world. So share your voice, express yourself, and people see you as this creative person. They see you as someone that can come out of their shell and can come alive, whether it's on stage or whether it's using your voice through writing and poetry and music or whatever it is. There's so much you have to offer. And I know you're dealing with a lot of never feeling like the thing is good enough, but trust me, it's good enough. You will overcome this doubt. Okay? And people really appreciate this about you. People really see you as someone with something to offer. You're handing people a gift, and you're handing yourself a gift when you let go of that self-doubt and that burden. All right. That was awesome. Moonstone. All done with that one. All right, guys. That was really cool. I love that reading. Okay, now we have Bloodstone, number 3. Okay, guys, so let's get through this one here. And just for you guys, as a reminder, I did shuffle these all off camera, all the different decks, and I did them for each stone. So this is specifically because you guys picked the Bloodstone India, and this is a dark, dark, dark green with some red in it, if you can't see that, because I know my lighting is not the best, but this is all I can achieve right now, so sorry that everything is not the best quality, but that's all we got to work with. Okay, guys, let's get started. What do people think of you? How do they perceive you? Ah, the Grail Knight. romance and illusion and seeking the sacred. So that's, oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. People might see you as romantical. And let's see what else comes out here. But that is the initial energy. Ooh, yes. Okay, so the 3 Moonchild cards, we have the universe, which is super duper beautiful. Glorious, glorious card. Let me try to get, there we go. The universe. Wow, okay. We have the Hierophant, and we have the Queen of Wands. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. So the Hierophant is a teacher. The Queen of Wands is a very spiritual and sacred person. Wow, okay, I'm seeing you as being very highly intuitive and also very grounded, very spiritual, very much a teacher in your own right. So let's see what else comes out. Ooh, Queen of Cups and King of Swords. Interesting. So Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, and King of Swords. You guys have a lot of dynamic. Ooh, there's air energy, there's fire energy, and there's water energy. So that's really cool to see. Okay, so the Goddess card, we have Mary Magdalene, initiation. So the initiation, which is a very powerful card. You are the initiator. You are the teacher. This is what I'm seeing. And we have shadow. So you listen to your shadow self. You're aware of your shadow self. You have worked with your shadow self. And if you haven't, you are going to do so. All right, what is this? Ooh, Council of Light. Oh, I love this card. Divine orchestration and helpers in the subtle realms. So the Council of Light is all of the masters and teachers of the universe that come from every and any religion. So it doesn't matter if you're religious or not. It's all in this card for you. The Council of Light. And who you look up to, or what you see as the universe, or the heavens above, or God, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, and the angel card, we have peace. So you are somewhat of a peace teacher, and people see you as a peaceful being, which is wonderful. This is beautiful energy. All right. Whoopsie. Sorry about that, guys. I know that was really loud. Sorry. Okay, so there's so much you have to offer. There's a romantic vibe about you, and that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's with, one person loves one person and that's romantic. It just means that you have a very romanticized personality, meaning it could be very positive, it could be very dreamy. You could be seen as someone that has a lot to give and a lot to offer, and you could be reincarnated in this lifetime, if you believe in that, as someone to be a teacher for those who have trouble in their lives. So you might help troubled individuals. And in a sense, even if you're not a teacher in a class or a teacher online or whatever it is, if you're not teaching physically some one subject, you are teaching everyone in your life. It looks like there's people in your life, male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. There's a lot of different types of people. There's children you're also teaching, and I can see that there's something about you that just knows like what to do. And you could remain very calm in chaotic situations, which is so beautiful. And you do tend to initiate things. You tend to see the universe for what it is, and you take it all in. Let me just say that. You are surrounded by positive Gaia energy, Mother Earth. You're very much grounded and centered in this lifetime. And I feel like you possibly in a past life were a council of light in another sense. So in any way you want to see that. Doesn't have to be religious. It can be in any sort of way. There's a very, very bright healing light about you, and you could already know this, and this is why you chose Bloodstone, India, and that's probably why you see yourself as an emotionally stable, I'm gonna say, person. Like, you know how to work your emotions and not just fly off the handle and be dramatic and chaotic and crazy and just kind of let that run your life or ruin your life, which is beautiful. You have a very mental and analytical way about you. So even though you're grounded and you're centered, you don't let your emotions run wild, even though you feel other people's emotions, I'm sure, and you feel all this chaos around you. You don't allow that to ruin your energy in your life, which is beautiful. You tend to compartmentalize things, which is coming from the King of Swords energy, which is, okay, so this is what I have to deal with now, and then I'll go back there, and then I'll deal with this then, and I'll deal with this at 8 o'clock, and you can kind of separate certain things. It's like, I'll deal with this work thing here, I'll deal with this family thing here, and you don't drag other things into other categories of your life, which is a very special quality. And I say that you're romanticized because people could see you as someone that is a light being of the universe, that is someone that is to look up to, that is someone that is just a good person. It just looks like you're a really good vibe, tons of like happiness and peace come off of you, and people want that, and people feed off of that. So you have to make sure to protect yourself and, do your golden bowl of protective light and make sure that you are not allowing energy sucking vampires into your life. But I think you're good at that. I think you're actually good at teaching other people how to do that, how to work with people that are energy suckers, and you know how to draw a line with them and make sure that they don't affect your everyday life and your emotions. And you teach people that. It looks like that anyway. Shadow self and you doing your shadow work is probably the most important thing you will ever do. And if you've already done it, I mean, congratulations. It's fantastic, and it's a great revelation that you cannot hide the dark parts of yourself. You just have to embrace them. And that's when I see shadow work. It's a lot of people dealing with their flaws and the things they hate about themselves. And when people say they hate themselves, they really are just talking about that shadow self. They don't actually hate their whole being, because we do have a dark side and we do have a light side. And the more that we try to suppress that dark side, the more it feeds into our everyday life, and the more it eats away at us and brings us down. So if we embrace that, we embrace the dark, we embrace the light, we know that we're human and we have real life things to do, and we have real money to make. And unfortunately, that's the way that this society works, is you have to make money and pay bills, unless you're very fortunate and you just happen to be born into wealth, then wonderful, congratulations. But there's, people have to deal with real life things and real life situations, and you're good at helping people and guiding people through that. So it wouldn't surprise me if you are some sort of spiritual teacher, yoga teacher, counselor, therapist, whatever you can think of, even just a beautiful school teacher or professor. There's a lot of there's a lot of intelligence in you, universal intelligence. So that means emotional, that means analytical. There's a sense about you that just knows what you're supposed to do here, and who you're supposed to be around, and who's good for you, who's not. And you learned pretty quickly. It looks like you grew up pretty quickly. Adulthood is always, was always kind of calling to you, and it seems like you've been very adult, and that could come with someone that has been reincarnated multiple times, and if you believe in that. So that's open to interpretation. This is a general reading, so don't get offended, because I don't want people to be offended, but I want you guys to pay attention to this energy overall, because it's a beautiful outcome, and it's very different from what I have just read in these two sets, and you could pick multiple sets, so it's whatever you need to hear. You're in control of this reading. You get to pick what you need to hear and what you want to take from it, but you are initiating something, and you always initiate something, and that is a very good quality about you. You're an initiator, you're a self-starter, you're a positive, peaceful, happy, intelligent human being, and you seek the light, and you seek the positivity in people, and you see the positivity in people and yourself, and that is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to end it there, because I could go on forever with you guys. Okay, so I love you guys. Thank you for letting me do that reading for you. All right. So moving on, we have option 4, the fluorite. Oh, let me move that one. Okay, so for you guys, I want to make sure that I'm letting you know that I did shuffle these off camera, and every deck I made sure to shuffle multiple times, and then I put it with each stone. So this is specifically because you picked this stone, which is beautiful blue and green, and just so many beautiful colors in there. I know, sorry about the lighting, you guys. This is all I have right now. We just gotta work with it. Okay, so this is how people perceive you, and this is, sorry you guys, the fan just turned on, or the heat, or the air, whatever it is. Okay, so we'll work through that. All right, how people perceive you, or see you, or think about you. The King. So the first card we have out is the King. And I'm seeing in here that there's, I rarely get this card, so this is wonderful. It is the number 3, man, authority, male, sexual energy, things pertaining to the law and justice. So you could be a very, very serious person. There's a lot of need for control, or there's a lot of need to put things in their place and rule certain things. So this is just the first energy that's coming out with the fluorite stone. Okay, let's see what we have here. All right, 7 of Pentacles. Aha, wonderful. And we have the High Priestess. Oh, such beautiful energy. I'm seeing what this is now. And then we have Queen of Pentacles. Okay, of course. So there's, oh my gosh, you guys really know how to, rule, like, and you know what's coming before it comes. That's kind of awesome. Let me see what else we have here. And you also have, a ruler's mentality, meaning you have a A-type personality, let's just say. That's the energy coming out here. You're definitely not lazy. You're definitely not someone that takes no for an answer. Let's see what else we have. Oh, yes. Ace of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. So emotionally and financially, we're looking like super duper positive and successful, and all about success, all about making sure that you're on top. All right, let's see what else. Ooh, ace manifestation, which is wonderful. You guys are kings and queens at manifesting. That's wonderful to see. And that is also, interestingly enough, the Ace of Pentacles in the traditional deck. So we have 2 Ace of Pentacles here. So how wonderful. All right, and then we have Trapped in Fear. Okay, so let's talk about that. And we have Break the Chain. Okay, so here is the Oracle card, Break the Chain, which ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So breaking those certain patterns that may not be helpful, which kind of goes into this Trapped in Fear card, and we're going to talk about that. And your angel card is Clarity. That's beautiful. That's what we want to see. All right, so people see you as a very clear person. You're very focused on what you want, vocal about what you want. You know what you want. People are not second guessing when you want something or need something. Like, you're 10 steps ahead. You know how to make money. You know what the smart thing is to do. And I'm not just talking about like money, like cash. I mean how to make the most out of what you're given. So if you're handed $1, you know how to make 100 from it. And that's a really good quality to have. So let's talk about you being the High Priestess energy and also having this King and Queen mentality and energy, because you do have a will and a desire to rule or to take control or to be the one on top, which is not a bad thing all the time. So there is a lot of earth energy here, clearly. And there's also air energy. And we do have, there's some water energy as well, but I want to talk about this Trapped in Fear type of energy right here and Break the Chain. So there is a pattern that we are in, or people could perceive you as being in, and that pattern could be something along the lines of, example A, letting yourself have a certain amount of not caring, kind of not focusing on what others think or feel, right? Which is not always a bad thing. We don't want to pay attention to what people think and feel about us, right? But there tends to be something where you might be afraid of how you come across or how you are perceived. And the only reason you have that fear is because you may not have liked something that you said or did to someone or a group of people at a certain point in your life. So you may be in fear that you're going to do that again. And I'm not saying you should care what other people think about you, because you definitely should not. But there is sort of a fear of thinking or second guessing, okay, well, I've done this before in the past and I messed up, so now I need to do this and this and this in order to be perfect at this. And that's just a lot of chaos and pressure on yourself. So there's a lot of pressure on yourself, and there's also a lot of feeling like people try to play you, people try to get things out of you, and you just won't let it happen. You just are ruthless. That's what I want to call this energy, is ruthless, but not bad. It's like very much get it done, Beyonce type of really powerful, positive, a lot of motivational speaker type of energy. And it's, you know, getting people to get excited about things is one of your main good qualities, and also being just and being part of the solution and not the problem when it comes to justice and fighting for justice. You're very much a dual energy, feminine, masculine, a positive reinforcement for people when they are seeking help and justice. You are the one to bring it forth because you don't care about or what happens to necessarily the person that did a person wrong. You're kind of just a bulldozer, and you go into it and you're like, I'm going to seek justice for this person because this is the right thing to do, and I don't care if they get 25 million years in prison, that's what they deserve. But that's just a dramatic overstatement, and of course it's a general reading, so I'm not always just talking about prison or putting people in jail. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just making a general statement. So what I mean by just is also there's pertaining to the law, so meaning the law of attraction or the law of the United States or the law of whatever you perceive as rules to be. You follow rules, and you're not afraid to take something and mash it together and make your own thing, right? But you're very good at not letting other people see that part of you. You're very good at hiding the hustle behind the final outcome and the beauty. So, which is good, because you don't want to always tell people what you're doing until you're done with it. So there's a lot of boss energy in here. There's a lot of motivational, powerful, structured, dynamic, confident energy. And the High Priestess, you guys know, it's, you know, you can see what's coming before it comes. And you're very good at seeing that with financial things, investments, opportunities, even relationships. Sometimes you're good at guessing or perceiving what's going to happen before it happens, or how this person is going to work with that person. And you kind of can call it ahead of time, which is awesome. So the only thing that I would say is that if you ask yourself, you know, about breaking the chain and ancestral patterns and healing and rewriting the future, because you have your future in your head. You know what you want. It's just about working in a special dynamic and how to get it. So you're very well thought out, but it's okay to share sometimes what's going on with you internally. It's okay to share some secrets. It's okay to express yourself to the people closest to you, because people closest to you might see you as someone that's very guarded or very much like not telling them what you're up to, because you don't want to give away your code and your secrets before you can show the final outcome, because you don't want people stealing your ideas, which is a valuable thing, because I tend to do that sometimes, but I don't really tell people everything I'm doing until it's done, because it's just, you know, it's just easier that way to make sure you're finished with something before you show it to the world, so you can be proud of it. But here's also, I want to talk about Seven of Pentacles real quick with the Ace manifestation and Ace of Pentacles. You are a genius manifester, meaning when you have something to share, and you work really hard for something, you're a very hard worker. You do receive the rewards. You do get what you deserve, even though sometimes you may not think in a certain situation you're getting what you deserve. You do, because you work hard and you reap the rewards of that. And I see that you're someone that is very intelligent and well thought out, and you know right from wrong, and you know how to help people in a crisis or in an emergency situation. You have very good, clear, you have a clear head, and you don't allow fog mentality to get in there. So when I see trapped in fear, the only thing I can really say for you is that sometimes you're just afraid of how to change something in the way that you've done in the past. And I'll put it this way. Maybe afraid to change something because in the past you changed something and it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. And you thought, oh my gosh, that's the worst thing I could have done. I shouldn't have changed anything. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have, wouldn't have, couldn't have, all that kind of thought process. So I would say just let go of any fear and ask yourself if you want to move forward with making money and manifesting and making sure you are doing the right thing all the time. Just ask yourself, is this worth having fear about? Because fear is always worse than the reality, than the outcome of and the actual reality of what's going on. You guys have probably all seen 500 Days of Summer, right? Where it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt showing reality versus, or you know, they split the screen and they say expectation versus reality. So you guys do have a lot of expectations of yourself and of other people, which is important in the career sense and the job sense and the getting things done sense. But when it comes to your relationships, people may think you're too well thought out, or you're too maybe, how do I want to say this? Or how do I say it? You're too, maybe in your relationships, people might see you as too ahead, too ahead of the game. So thinking too far ahead, like you already know what's going to happen. And they may just think that you maybe don't get as excited about certain things, like going to dinner or going to a movie or doing little, you know, things around the house. They may think that you don't enjoy those things because you're already thinking in your head 20, 30 steps ahead of that. You're not sometimes living in the moment. So maybe that's something you can ask yourself is, am I living in the moment, or am I always in fear or anxiety? Am I always thinking too far ahead and living sort of in the future and not in the now? And what I always like to say is that there really is no past or future. There only is the now. You can't live in the future. You can't live in the past. You're only living in the now. So maybe try to break that chain. Maybe try to recognize that you're very important. You're a very prominent, in control person. You're very smart and you have a lot to offer and you'll be rewarded. And you help other people a lot with monetary things, but also with and not just financial and monetary things, like helping them grow in business or in money or in you know, labor, whatever that means to you. But you're also good at helping people grow spiritually and making them realize that what they're doing is right or what they're doing is wrong. You tell them straight up, okay, this is the best direction for you, and this isn't. So choose a path. And you're very good at telling people which path to choose because it's the path you would choose. And that does help guide people in a monetary or financial or however you want to see money as, in that way. So you're very helpful, and you're not someone that is taking life for granted. You definitely are grinding. You're a hustler. You're someone you're not afraid to get your hands dirty and do hard work, and by golly, you are just, and you are by the book, and there's no getting around that, and I respect that, because I wish I was like that a little bit. I'm not by the book at all. I'm always off the beaten path, and I don't like rules, so it's a very good energy to have, and people do envy this energy sometimes, and they respect it. So, actually a lot of times. But anyway, that was awesome. Hopefully you guys got something out of this reading, and thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. It really helps keep the channel running. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Palladian Star Goddess Tarot, and I'll have everything linked down below. And what else do I have to say? Just thank you guys so much for supporting my channel and following me. It just is super awesome to be able to do these videos for you guys, and I hope you love them. And once again, it is a general reading, so don't take anything too seriously. Take what you like and then leave the rest. That's what I like to say. Only take what serves you. And if you picked multiple sets, awesome. Take in what you want. And all right, I love you guys.